You're listening to the Barbell Voodoo Podcast with your host, Jacob Faceg. All right, welcome to another episode of the Barbell Voodoo Podcast. Once again, this episode is brought to you by Paleo Works, a locally owned meal prep kitchen with a passion for paleo. They want to make it easy for you to reach your nutritional goals and to stay on track. They offer heat and eat paleo meals, athlete recovery meals, and bulk macro items. Their meals feature 100% grass-fed beef, all-natural hormone and free-range chickens, and pork. Pickup locations all over Middle Tennessee, as well as offering some delivery options around Nashville area for a nominal fee. Paleo Works wants to make nutrition the easiest part of your day. As far as things coming up on the calendar, I hope you're aware of the next Battle of the Barbells, which is happening on August 18th at CrossFit Trivium in Brentwood, Tennessee. That's my home box, and so I hope you guys can come out to that. That's going to be a masters and a teens competition, and so that's going to be an awesome day. I hope you guys can come out in full force and join us. Also, just want to remind you of the Barbell Voodoo private label. Now, we can do it all, and we would love to be a part of whatever you have going on, whether that's in your gym or local box, or that's some personal things that you want to have some t-shirts printed or any other kind of items that we can help you with. Basically, we want to be a part of whatever you have going on, so give us a shout, let us know how we can do that. Go to barbell-voodoo.com. On today's episode, I get to sit down with Chrissy Schleb, and she is an CrossFit nomad, basically. She is all over the world teaching and educating people on CrossFit, but also traveling the world of fitness. And so she's currently in Thailand, but I got to sit down with her a little bit ago while she was here in Nashville and kind of get her story and talk with her a little bit. I had a great time hanging out with her, and I know that you guys will enjoy this podcast today. So thanks again for listening. And if you can, don't forget, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as leave us some comments. Let me know how we're doing here. And as always, I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hey, this is Rich Froning. You're listening to Barbell Voodoo Podcast.
Welcome to the Barbell Voodoo Podcast. Sitting down with Chrissy Schleb.
That was better. Good job.
I get stage fright with people's names because I've gotten it wrong so many times. Anyways, we're sitting here at On the End CrossFit On the End, or On the End CrossFit.
On the End CrossFit, yes.
I got it wrong. When I looked it up for directions, even though I knew where it was, I just like to have directions.
See, and I was the one worried about saying some things wrong.
Oh, no, I say things wrong all the time. That's why I was like, did you listen to any podcasts first? And you were like, no.
Nope.
I was like, good. This is all going to be first. And so we're upstairs at On the End, and there's class going on downstairs or finishing up, and we're in a weird baby closet room where I don't know what happens in here, but things go down, and we're sitting here talking about the world of CrossFit.
Yes.
Right?
And life, just life in general.
Yeah, so you have traveled the world, at least in my opinion, as a guy who barely makes it around the U.S. You've traveled the world.
Not the whole world,
done CrossFit.
But that's goals.
Hashtag goals.
Yes, goals as fuck.
Yeah. So tell us about your story. Where did all this fitness journey begin, and kind of how did you get to where you are today, where you're taking contracts, going to other places, and teaching and
yeah,
fitnessing?
I've never thought that this would be my life, for one. Super excited that it is. Never thought that this job would lead me to the places that it has. But I started almost 10 years ago, really kind of getting into the fitness industry. I found CrossFit through just kind of normal gym first. But I started just training because I was a pretty big drug addict back in the day. And, I just wanted to get clean, and I knew I wanted to get healthy, and I just knew, like, for that to be possible, I needed to make some really big changes. And I just naturally have, like, a very addictive all-or-nothing personality. So finding CrossFit was just, like, a perfect fit,
So was it I woke up one day and realized, like, my life is effed and, like, I need to change some things? Or was it, like, a gradual, I need to get healthier and maybe it'll help this addiction? Or...
It actually was, like, I think I hit rock bottom
Yeah.
several times. But yeah, one day, like, I mean, I kind of just had like a really kind of scary experience where I was having some heart palpitations. You know, I was like just being a crazy teenager and like just getting loaded and not using my brain. And, you know, it's kind of like every weekend thing, but I just got really sick of, you know, waking up every day and wondering, you know, how I was going to get high, like who I was going to manipulate to like get the things that I want, and really just lost, you know, I had no idea who I was, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just hurting coming from a weird place with family stuff. And, yeah, I don't know, like one day something just like, it's whatever kind of religious thing you want to believe, but something just kind of, you know, like a slap in the face is like, girl, like if you don't get your shit together, you're not going to wake up from this, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And so I guess at that point, you know, I just dedicated myself first to like working 70 hours a week, just trying to stay as busy as I can so I wasn't able to like think about, you know, being a drug addict. And then slowly, like probably a few months after that, realizing like, hey, like you're going to have to like substitute these feelings with something else, you know, like, and I am again, like a very all or nothing person. So I had a lot of these like feelings of anxiety and just, you know, wanting to get out all these emotions, but didn't really have an outlet. So yeah, I just started getting into fitness. Ironically enough, I got into running first, which I fucking hate now. But it was a way for me to add on things every time, you know? So I got addicted to the mileage and just like, you know, being able to clear my mind through this and like, you know, having some pain with that. And got into like personal training, and then someone introduced me to CrossFit. And just went after it, and I just loved the grittiness of it. And, you know, back then it wasn't nearly as popular as it is now, so it was a bit more hardcore, I feel like. I mean, people were just bold as shit and like, let's just fucking die, you know? And I found that really, you know, attractive for some reason.
Well, there's a group of people that were giving everything they had to that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. And like through that, you know, like misery, of just working your body so hard, you know, you found community and like you die together and you see these people, and outside of the gym, they're just like, you know, wanting to help you, and you know, it was good. And I like quickly, you know, got addicted to it, as I would. And I got asked pretty early on like if I would be interested in coaching, so I was like, yeah, it seems like a perfect fit. It's a place where I can be myself, you know, can be covered in tattoos, can cuss if I want to, you know, and just be a little bit wild, you know, but in a positive way, you know. Yeah. So.
See, and I think that's where people from the outside look into CrossFit and go, those people are nuts.
Yeah.
And they don't realize the kind of healing quality of that, or at least the way that your body is able to dump the negative things.
Absolutely.
You know, the things that, that you're trapping in your regular life that you can kind of release.
Stress, anxiety, all of it. I mean, anytime you're like having a bad day, and you know, some days training isn't always what you would like it to be, but when you come in and you just try and you release those things, like you're always going to leave feeling better, you know? So why not?
and so like, as all that nastiness is leaving your body, like that's what people pick up on and go, oh man, that's too much. I don't. No, those people are dying, and it's like, well, yeah, we're dying to the negative stuff in our lives.
Yes, like, we're dying, but we feel fucking amazing after.
You like roll around on the ground for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden you rise up.
High five! That was awesome.
Let's go do some stuff now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I love that. And so you switched, you know, your addictions, you know, from drugs to CrossFit. And you've kind of gone all in with that. And so, where were you geographically when you found CrossFit?
I was in North Carolina. Yeah, Winston-Salem, kind of a small town.
With the witches.
No, that's a different Salem.
Okay.
Everyone thinks that though.
No.
It'd probably be way cooler if it was, but
it was not that cool. Is
no. Which is probably where I got into drugs, because there was nothing else to do, unfortunately. So
there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I was in North Carolina first, where I started coaching, and then ended up in Nashville because I have some friends or some family here, and then started coaching in Franklin for a while at Talon.
Yeah. Yep.
with Dennis and Tara. Hey, Dennis and Tara, y'all are awesome.
That's cool. And so what happened then? So you landed in Franklin.
Yep.
And you coached there for...
God,
2 weeks?
No. No. I can keep a job somewhat. I do get bored easy, but I think I was there for like a year or so, and then moved up into Nashville, and started coaching at Barefoot, which is now Breakthrough. And yeah, I think what got me into like wanting to travel was I actually went on like a mission trip to India. And I had always I've always felt in me that I've wanted to travel because I just have such, I don't know, a love for different cultures and experiencing, I'm a huge fan of music and food and just, I just really genuinely like people too. And I want to see how they live and, experience or be reminded consistently of why we are so, we just have a lot to be grateful for,
Sure. Yeah.
So I went on a mission trip to India. It was actually the first time I ever left the country.
Oh.
And this was back in I don't even remember, 2014 or something like that. And we stayed in the slums of India, and I just it was definitely a different planet, which I was expecting, but it just opened up my heart and mind to so many different things and just seeing the way that all these people lived and, I just got hungry for it, I was like, how in the world can anybody be happy or feel like they're growing spiritually in a place that is exactly the same, that you see the same thing day in and day out and whatever. And then, I just found myself when I got back just constantly envisioning a place that was different, and I didn't even really care at that point where it was. I just knew that again, that addiction just came out, and I was like, I have to see more, I have to do more. So in a way I feel like I somewhat manifested this idea of hey, you're gonna fucking travel. I didn't know how it was gonna pan out, but I just knew in my heart that's what I was meant to do. So
how long were you in India? It was
just a few weeks. Yeah, just a few weeks, but definitely enough to change.
Okay, can I ask a question that's completely unrelated to anything we've talked about so far?
Yeah. I'm a bit scared now.
So India. So I was reading some articles about bathroom situations around the world.
Yes.
India is one of those.
The worst bathroom I've been to, in some of them. Yeah.
If I remember right, this is a hole in the ground, and they do the scoop where you scoop water.
Right. They do that a lot in Asia as well. Yeah.
And so that's my worst fear in traveling is the bathroom situation. Is that weird?
It just depends
I want that
on
to be normal, but I feel like
dude,
it's
you at least you're a guy and you can fucking stand up,
That's fair. But inevitably,
after a while, after a while,
especially with enough Indian food. I love Indian food. Holy cow!
I actually hate Indian food.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love India though, and the people were pretty amazing. But the food was not my friend at all. But I will say the worst bathroom I've ever been to has been so far in India. But anyways, so
see, I told you, nothing to
ADD,
do, but
ADD.
I just read that and I was like, okay, I'm knocking places off in the world that I am not going to go to anytime soon.
Oh my God, don't let that be a thing.
I have some bathroom issues.
They have real bathrooms there as well.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you stay in a hotel, you'll be fine.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, what did you do there in India?
I worked in. At the time it was a nonprofit organization called Seed, and what they did is they would go into slums and help these women develop skills so that they could eventually get jobs.
Okay.
And try and help get their kids a better life and all that. So it was really cool. We got to hang out with a lot of kids and a lot of the women just hear their stories. I mean, they're brought up and they're raised in these environments where they don't have a fucking choice and they don't have the education because it's very either you're poor or you're rich over there. There's not really an in between. Yeah. And if you
indentured servitude is still a big thing there.
Yeah, and if you're brought up with no education, there's no chance of you to get out. You're just kind of left with this life. But nonetheless, the thing that was even the most incredible to me was the fact that they had nothing and they were willing to give, their last piece of fruit to a stranger, and
wow.
I went there thinking that I was going to help someone when really it's and I'm going to get emotional, but they changed they taught me way more than I ever thought that I could teach them, you know, and I think I'm a very humble person anyways, but it was definitely an even bigger reality check. So again, I just like, I got to see what else is out there. I got to see more things and, you know, so yeah, I was thinking about traveling and, again, manifested this idea in my mind, I guess, that I was going to be out, and randomly as shit, I started talking to a coach in Hong Kong. And online, online, like through Facebook. He was American.
Facebook,
yeah,
right.
He was American, and he was coaching out there. And so I was like, man, that's really fucking cool. Like, how did you do that? You know, and I'd love to hear your story. Like, if you want to share it, whatever. So he shared a story with me, and he was like, you know, actually, like, we're hiring right now.
Whoa.
And I was like, what? And I was like, whoa. He's like, yeah, if you want to apply, just like send me your resume, shoot it over or whatever. Because in CrossFit in Asia is still relatively new, and they don't have a lot of coaches with multiple certifications or skill or whatever. So I was like, well, what's it going to hurt? You know, just fucking try and see how it goes. And I'd say within like 48 hours, I got a call back like, hey, when can you come?
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast.
I know. And I was like, which was great because it didn't give me a whole lot of time to think it through. So I was like, okay, sweet. I'm going to fucking go, you know? And I tried to consolidate my whole life into a couple of suitcases, and I was off.
So what'd you do? Did you sell everything? Like,
yeah, I mean,
work?
Fortunately, like, when I was in North Carolina, like, I had a house, all these things, you know, thought I was going to live the American dream, like, long-term relationship, whatever. That didn't work out. So from there, I pretty much started consolidating a lot. And I pretty much, whatever I could fit in my car at the time took me to Nashville.
Gotcha.
And then from there, I just moved quite a bit. So it's just like smaller and smaller and smaller. And then you realize the need for things becomes less and less and less, you know, and it's actually quite comforting to know that you can just like pick up and leave whenever you want without being, you know, attached to all these things that really have no relevance or make you anything. You know what I mean? Like this.
So I picture you having like a carry-on size suitcase and then a gym bag.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like that's 3 times its size. That's what I picture.
That's accurate.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That is accurate.
Sometimes
So yeah, I had a year contract out there. Hong Kong was crazy.
Wow, so you committed an entire year.
Yeah.
This was no like we're gonna do this for a couple months.
And I didn't even have my work visa at the time.
Oh wow.
So they were like in the process of sorting that out. So yeah, I really didn't have any idea what was gonna happen, but you know.
And you're like, #America, I do what I want. I'll be there, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's just why not? Why the fuck not? What else do I have to do? I don't want to like sit and stare out the window all day, like wondering what it would be like to be somewhere else. Might as well just do it, worst. You know? So
you just move over, and I'm assuming you didn't know the language, you didn't know how to communicate.
Well, fortunately, like Hong Kong is very much like New York, so it's a lot of expats, so a lot of Westerners from all over. So everyone that I was in direct contact with did speak English. Oh, great. So, I mean, some of it was a bit broken, but most of our coaches, too, were from everywhere else as well. So it's fine.
That's neat.
It's fine. Now, like, once you get out and about and, like, all you hear is Chinese, you're just like, man, I'm like on the other side of the fucking world right now with just myself. So, but
yeah, which is like the hardest language to learn.
Yeah, it is. I did not pick any of it. No. And like, if you have a Southern accent on top of like the way that they just enunciate things, like you just fuck it up.
Yeah.
And I had a couple Chinese friends, and they would just laugh at me because they're like, So I'm like, I can't. I give up.
That's hilarious. Wow. So 1 year, what'd you learn there? What types of things did you walk away with?
Being in a huge city is not my forte.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I don't really care to work, 50, 70 hours a week, and I don't want to sell my soul to anyone that doesn't give a shit about who I am as a person.
All right.
I think that's what I learned, but I don't regret any of it, Like it.
So is that your experience personally, or is that what you saw happening there more?
Both, yeah.
Really?
It was a very, people live to work there.
Okay.
It's the best way to put it. They live to work, and, I think a lot of them are pretty much just numbers to big corporations, you know?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of feelings as far as like the local culture goes. Very kind of gray, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
As someone that is like a very emotional kind of like smiley person, that was not like super well received all the time. So yeah, it's just different, you know, different culture, but it definitely will teach you quickly like who you are as a person and not to give that up or anything, you know? Yeah.
So were your classes that you taught there, were they fairly international? Or?
Yeah, they were international and they were fine. Like I liked the people that I would coach.
Okay.
Just didn't really care too much for, you know, the people that I worked for. But other than that, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right. And then you moved back. What is that? Like, are we at 2015, 2016?
Something like that. It's all pretty freaking blur right now.
Yeah,
but yeah, I came back for like not even I guess it was like just a few months.
And so when you came back, did you come back to something like, I'm going to do this?
I mean, I just started coaching again. I was back at where I left. We left in good terms. So, you know, they kind of took me back and was like, sure, you want to come coach for a little bit? Like, just get back to figure out what you want to do or whatever. Of course, community changes when you leave. It was an amazing community. I loved it there. But yeah, I just was still like not ready to be home. So I wanted to see what else was out there. So again, I just started thinking about where I would want to be. And for whatever reason, Thailand was like super heavy on my heart. I did travel there a little bit when I was over there and just really liked it and started reaching out to gyms, seeing if they need anyone. And
so just randomly finding gyms on the interwebs. Yeah,
sending my resume, my experiences, and I got responded back to like, hey, come over. So
no kidding.
Yeah, it's not as hard as you know would think. As long as I think you have like a really good attitude and like you're putting yourself out there, you know, like people respond pretty well to it. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So and tell me if it's more than you want to answer, but like, so you'd basically go, well, I'll buy a plane ticket and then like we'll figure it out when we get there. Kind of thing?
That's pretty much been the case for most of it.
You're just trusting these strangers to kind of take care of you?
But it's more than just trusting in strangers. Like, it's just trusting in the universe or God or whatever you want to think. Like, if you have any amount of faith, then I feel like things work out, you know?
So you felt like, you know, you're doing what you feel like you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And so you're trusting that.
Yeah, I trust that.
That's awesome.
I've never gone without food or water, and I've always been blessed enough to have what I need to survive. So I continue to trust that.
That's really cool. Wow. And so now you're in Thailand. You're right, and you're coaching at a box there, a CrossFit box.
It wasn't
a gym.
It was actually like a Muay Thai training camp. Okay. And so I just did like strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
In this little little sweatshop.
Should I be scared being in a small room with you right now?
Maybe a little bit, but
that's fair.
Not because of Muay Thai. No, I'm kidding.
I will cut you.
No, I mean, I definitely got to work with a lot of fighters, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
And just watching them fight is amazing because they've been fighting since they were kids, you know? It's a beautiful martial art. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I was just working with a lot of foreigners and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool. I think most people that come to Thailand have a little bit of wildness in them.
Oh.
And especially when you're coming just to like train, most people are looking for something else. It's not just fitness. It's more of like, I don't know, somewhat of a journey emotionally or whatever, you know, that I've learned in the conversations that I've had is they're wanderers, you know, and I had some of the most amazing conversations ever when I was over there. So it was cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I love so much about CrossFit is that we have these like surface level reasons of why we do it. Yeah. You know, and like one of them that we hear often is, you know, you want to look good naked. Right. Which is never a reason to be able to sustainably do anything. Right. You know, like you'll get through
it's
beach
a plus,
season,
but
but what they're trying to articulate is that I want to have enough self-confidence and self-esteem to be able to look at myself clothed or naked and feel good about it. Absolutely. You know, and that's the real reason, and that's a reason that you go, okay, well, we can build on that. Yeah. But just for vanity, like that's not sustainable. No. And so the neatest thing about finding out about people is hearing those backstories.
Yeah.
Of going, yeah, but I mean, why are you really here? I mean,
yeah. Well, and two, like, for instance, Thailand, like, same for me. Like, I somehow would end up being in these people's lives that were, like, coming out of a huge addiction. You know?
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
it was awesome to just be a part of that and, like, be able to share, like, my story with them. And, like, and as someone that has been through some pretty hard life, you know, like, them being able to relate and be like, well, fuck, you know? If you can do that, I don't see why I can't, you know? And just, being a little bit, you know, of an example and just... You know, I was able to just try my best too. I guess I felt like motherly instincts. I don't know. But I would just take these people in and just like want to know what they're doing all the time, making sure that they're staying sober. And I don't know. So it's like, aside from just being their trainer, you know, I got to like experience them going through something really awesome and they're still sober and it's fucking awesome, you know?
So did you have people like that for you in your life along the way?
No, not so much. Not so much.
So you're filling that void by being that for other people?
Yeah, I can't help it, you know, because I just want people to see like how awesome it can be to like be somewhat enlightened and positive and, you know, again, just put that passion into something else that's worthy of, you know, reciprocating.
Sure. Yeah.
So
that's really neat.
It's awesome.
So how long were you in Thailand?
About a year. Seems to be the trend.
Yeah, that's the deal.
First year contract, so yeah. And I'm actually getting ready I already signed a contract. Hopefully all the paperwork will be good and come through, and I'll be leaving next month to go back. So
same place?
Different island. CrossFit this time, like legitimately, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What is it? Can you say?
Yeah, it's Unit 27. Is where I'll be if it all works out. It should be. Should be good.
Unit 27.
Yeah.
That's the name of the CrossFit box.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
They do a lot of stuff. So it's they are a CrossFit gym. They kind of own like a whole street of different types of gyms. So strength and conditioning, work with a lot of fighters and stuff as well. So yeah. It's like a tourist destination for training. So yeah, it's fun.
Interesting.
Yep. I'm pretty stoked about it. I've been wanting to work with them for a few years, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is a part of Thailand I've never even heard about. Like all the you know, like this whole fitness.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fitness. But you got to think with martial arts over there, it's embedded in them at such an early age. Like there's so much Thai boxing. You know, it's huge. Yeah, it is huge. And it is awesome. I personally don't want to be punched in the face or knocked out, but I like watching it.
Yeah, I prefer to stay away from that as well.
Yeah, I'll just lift weights. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm good right here. You guys do your thing.
But it's amazing to watch. Yeah, I love it. It's good.
So is that another year contract then?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
Hopefully I'll stay longer this time. Like I would love to actually be at a place that I can stay for a long while. So as much as I do love bouncing around occasionally, like, you know, you do want to have some stability, you know, so still human.
So how long has your break been here between travels? Like,
it'll be a year in July. So,
so you really are like year to year. I'm going to change.
That's not like, you know, I don't mean to be. It's just how it goes. So
some people get like an itch. Like after a certain point, they're like, okay, something you need to change again. Okay.
I just kind of struggle with being in the States in general, though, I think. So,
why is that?
Yeah. I mean, without hurting anybody's feelings, you know, like I feel like we're very entitled, you know, and we do take a lot of things for granted. Sure. And sometimes the conversations that, you know, we have on a daily basis, it's just like, fuck, man, like, where's the substance in that, you know? I need more, you know? Yeah. Not to say everybody's like that, because I do have I'm blessed to have some really good friends who, you know, have a lot of positive things that they're contributing to society and being a part of, and I love that, but yeah, it's just hard. It's different. So it's real easy to get caught up in materialistic things and you know, just get sucked into social media and all that kind of stuff. So when we're not really appreciating the little things that mean so much. So that's what goals are for me, to get back to that place where I'm happy just to wake up every day and see the sun, you know, little things. It's good. So
do you feel like you're able to do more of what you feel like you should be doing, or feel
over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You feel like you're living more of the life that you want to live.
Yeah, because it's still like a few steps back. You know what I mean? Like, where they are now, or at least when I was in Samui, is like, it's like comparison to like 20 years, I feel like here. You know what I mean? So people aren't on their phones all the time. They're connecting like one-on-one, face-to-face. You know, there's so many, I didn't have a phone for like 8 months when I was there.
Yeah.
Half the time I didn't have internet. Sometimes I didn't even have fucking running water.
Yeah.
But damn, like the conversations that I were having and like engaging like with humans again, like on a constant, you know, and just going out on adventures and not thinking about any of that shit was just like, that's what I need, you know? And that's what we're designed for, I feel like, as humans, is like that kind of interaction. And, you know, we definitely take it for, you know, for granted these days.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, if we were going way back in the world of addiction and growing up, like what was home life for you? Like what was the environment like in which you grew up in? Are you willing to touch on anything? Like you were talking about how
that's totally
that story
fine.
had helped other people.
I mean, I was
I'm not looking for like bullet points of like these are the things I've done,
you're
been
good.
through, and, but like,
well, I mean, my mom was actually like an amazing human being, and like I feel like I have definitely taken on her adventureness, her adventure side, and her spirituality too. Like she's just had such a strong faith, but she was really sick my whole life. She's passed now. And so I grew up with seeing her constantly ill, you know.
Sick with, like,
very similar to Crohn's, but it's like we kind of have this genetic thing that runs in our family with all of our lovely stomach problems. But yeah, I've had my share of it as well.
Oh, wow.
But so growing up with that, and then my dad was a really bad alcoholic. He has passed as well now too. Fortunately, thank God, they like split when I was relatively young, so I don't remember a lot of it, but he was still in and out of my life quite a bit. In not a positive way, but it's honestly, you know, of course it could have been way worse, but I just like, it's hard to like not get, I guess, the attention that you might need, or again, having those like interactions with humans on a, you know, an intimate level emotionally when, you know, your dad is never there and your mom is always sick and all these things, you know, so
that's
and maybe
tough.
that's why I just crave it so much now, and I just really appreciate it. Is like 'cause having those conversations and those connections with people. It feels like, I mean, that's what we're designed to do, right? So yeah, it's a bit of that, and never not having that for much of my life, I guess. Was kind of what led me to like using and stuff, but really it was just like I wanted some attention, you know. But I think
so was it using to forget or for attention?
Or
both?
Probably both. Yeah. Or just not knowing like what was going on, you know, like not understanding like why, you know, your dad or whatever would like be mean to you or not want to be in your life or whatever. It's like you're just kind of like, well, what the fuck's wrong with me, you know? But so yeah, I mean, it takes a long time to get over that and like you know, figure out who you are and love who you are and just like fight for who you are and think about the morals that you have and stand by them. And, you know, I mean, that's not something that usually is just given to us right away. So, but I'm thankful in a lot of ways that I went through all that because it has definitely made me who I am now. So
Sure. Yeah, and it shapes it. And I love how and I'm sarcastically saying I love how, but when people say, you know, I know there's a lot worse things that could have happened. Yeah, but that's not what happened. And what happened was personal and unique and traumatic and hurtful
so
for
true.
you.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
I don't know. I just hate, like, I don't want, like, a sob story. You know?
No, but it's something that has shaped you and contributed to, well, this is why I, you know,
did these things,
do the things that I do now. You know, this is why I pour into people. Because no one was pouring into me when I was a kid.
And we're all deserving of that kind of respect and love, you know, like we're all deserving of feeling like, you know, we are loved by someone and that someone genuinely gives a shit about us, you know?
Absolutely.
So, and it's easy to feel like, you know, you've been forgotten along the ways if you're not used to having anyone show you that or remind you, you know what I mean? Like you still want to have that for yourself too, but Yeah.
I find myself often giving people what I wish that I was given, you know, in terms of like relational interaction, I guess.
And I think that's great, That's awesome.
Yeah. So who would you say, all these things that have contributed to who you are today, like, so who are you today?
Man.
Like, if you're going to say, this is how I define myself.
Oh, God, without sounding like cheesy.
No, I mean, hopefully it won't.
Yeah, hopefully it won't. If it does, my bad.
We could put it in, like, robot voice, so it doesn't sound cheesy.
Who am I? I mean,
it'd be worse.
I don't know. I'm someone that just is very compassionate, empathetic, who genuinely just loves the world. As fucked as it may be, it is also incredibly beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I think it's on us to, make the decision whether or not we want to see the beauty or we want to feel the chaos, So I know. Whoa, that was deep.
Right, that's really good.
Didn't mean for that to be so deep, but
write that down, everybody. That's good.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Like, I just want to live my life in a way that is loving and honest, and if I can contribute to anyone's life in a positive light, then that's what I want to do. And as far as I can in this world, so whether it be Thailand, Nepal, whatever, any life that I can touch in any kind of way is awesome. Yeah. And just learning from other people can never stop learning. So
yeah, and think about if there was a whole lot more people that agreed with that.
How awesome would that be?
I mean, that might be a game changer.
I'm pretty sure we'd all be dogs then.
Probably.
Yes.
That is one of the greatest things about coming home every day for me. Yeah.
Yes, dogs are the best. If we could remotely love like dogs, we would be a beautiful world, But
yeah, man, that would be good. So wow. So how do you close the books on a place? Like, you move around, you're fixing to leave here.
Yeah.
So what are you intentionally doing to, I guess, not only leave this place well in terms of like your job and what's going on here, but like, how do you leave relationships for a year? Like,
I mean, you always stay in contact, but I never think of goodbyes as goodbyes, I just like.
But you don't have things like, I want to do this before we leave, or
I mean, I want to
see.
Yeah, I try and see as many people. How do you
try to leave things?
I try and see as many people as I can, But again, it's like I never really think of it as like a permanent goodbye. So I'm really shit at goodbyes, really. Like sometimes I like to just sneak out. But it's not because I'm an asshole. Maybe it's just because I do care a lot. But
are you someone that would tell people that you're going to leave a week later, but you're really leaving a week earlier?
I wouldn't be that bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't be that bad unless I was just trying to avoid the person. But
that's a whole other situation.
But there isn't any of those in my life right now, thank God. But yeah, no, I just never think of it as permanent, so it's okay.
Sure.
Or if that's what your time is with someone, that's your chapter with them,
Yeah. So. Yeah. So you what are you going to do in a year? Are you going to try to stay there, and then would you eventually come back to Nashville, or what do you think?
Well,
right now this can change. This is not a permanent record.
Right. Well, because I don't do good with plans.
I'm not going to call you up like in a year from now and then play this.
What
and
is
be
your
like,
5-year plan? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just kind of live by the seat of my pants, which is probably not good sometimes. But
would you consider this like your home base? Like, this is the place you come back to?
It's hard to say, because it used to be that I come back for a family, but a lot of my family now is like moving out. So, has everyone's getting married and having kids and like kind of moving all over the place. So, I just found out that I can get my German citizenship. So, because of my father being German. So, honestly, my next step that I would say now would be, if I can't stay there long term, head to Europe, I guess, and try and work out there. Why not,
How cool is that?
Wouldn't it be cool? So maybe like the next half of my life, I don't know, spend it in Europe. That would be great.
I can imagine so many people listening to this being like, well, damn, like I'm not doing anything with my life.
You can do whatever you want. That's the thing. You can do whatever you want. If you believe it enough to be true and it's in you, like, it can happen.
You're willing to put the work to do
Yes,
that.
right.
Wow.
Anything. I mean, I didn't go to college. Whatever. Like, anything that's happened to me has all just been through faith, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and although we're attracted to other people's lives, a lot of times it may not be the life that
right.
Because there's so many times that you try to emulate somebody, and then you end up down that road and go,
this isn't for me.
This is the
and
worst
that's
thing
okay
ever.
too, though. It's better to try and just see how you go, and if it doesn't work out, it's fine. It's no big deal. No big deal. Fear is, is such bullshit. So,
Yeah.
And once you make those jumps a few times, like, it becomes easier and more opportunities open up, you know? Like, you never know what is going to happen if you don't take an opportunity. Like, even though it might not work out the way that you want it, you can meet, like, so many other people along the way that can help you to new opportunities and new experiences. You know, me just going to Hong Kong has led me to all these places, you know?
Yeah.
And it's only because I took that jump. I didn't really like Hong Kong, but hey, it led me to Thailand, and I love Thailand, so that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So the other thing that you podcastians don't get to see is she has a couple tattoos.
Just a couple.
And so I wondered if you had a couple stories that you could share about maybe one or two of them.
What do you mean? Like what they mean, or like how
Sure,
people
like,
respond?
No, I don't care about how people respond. Okay. But like, there's a reason you got that.
Oh,
and so what's the? I love tattoo stories.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, like a lot of my tattoo stories, I don't really have huge stories behind them. Just because I just love art and.
Sure.
So I worked at a shop for like a few years when I lived in North Carolina, not tattooing. I'm not a good artist. I wish I was. Really wish I was. Really wish I was, but wasn't blessed with that gift. So I just kind of donate my limbs and say, hey, whatever you want to do, like, within reason, obviously.
So like dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Some of these. That's cool.
There's one on my leg that I got in Thailand that I'll have to show you. It's
okay.
It's awesome. And I pretty much, the guy didn't speak hardly any English. He wanted to do some stuff for a tattoo convention. And I was like, you can just have my whole entire thigh, like whatever you want to do. And he showed me this picture. It's actually from a movie called Kingdom of Heaven, which I still have not seen, but it's like the gypsy in there, but it's beautiful. And I was just like, yeah, whatever you want, like just do it. So
okay. Okay, I need a little bit more background there. So like, did you see his art?
Yeah,
before?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, so like, this isn't like
no,
we
I won't.
became friends. We worked out together, and I was like, oh, the hell with it. Like, here's my thigh.
Well, of course I saw his work, and
okay, all right.
I guess like a guy that I briefly knew like dedicated some of his skin to this guy, and I was like, I want to do that too, because if it's something that someone's passionate about, they're gonna put their heart and soul into it. So that's what you want,
Okay.
And then I guess recently
I feel like that little bit was pertinent information
okay.
as opposed to
no, of course his work was nice. I always make sure that they're like sterile and all those things. But
I didn't even think about that side of things. I was just thinking about how it looks.
There's a couple of shady places over there, but there's also some really beautiful artists.
So no prison tattoos, what you're saying?
No prison tattoos.
Oh, well.
Let's hope it stays that way. But yeah, and I guess my most recent is I'm totally obsessed with Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone, looks at any of my Instagram shit, it's a bit ridiculous. But I got some Viking tattoos on my head, so that's been recent. So
I have some friends in Panama City that are really into Vikings.
Love Vikings.
So what is it?
So I got some Viking ruins on my head, and
Viking ruins.
Yes, I have a Viking compass in case I get lost or need protection while I'm out. I found that pretty.
It's hard for you to see, though. Isn't it?
Appropriate. And then I'm not gonna say what my head says because that's just for me. So. But,
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So those are on the side of your head.
Yes.
How did that feel?
It really wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah. Not as bad as you would think.
Your head was shaking for days afterwards?
It definitely felt fucking weird, but it didn't hurt that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God. I was like scared to death
I guess
first.
I was thinking more of the jarring, I guess, the whole time.
No, it's not too bad. Yeah. It's a bit weird, but
okay.
Not too bad. Thank God. I was like,
I don't have any tattoos. I've always wanted one, but like looking through my life, I'm very picky about what I want to live the rest of my life with.
Yeah. Yeah, most people like that aren't going to get a lot of tattoos. Like if you say people that are covered, it's usually because they're just they're just fucking chill about it. They probably didn't put a whole lot of thought into most of them. It's just like, what do you want to do today? Like, is there anything that you've wanted to tattoo on somebody? Like, or you just look through their reports and they're like, I like your style. I like your whether it be traditional, Japanese, whatever. But
most people I know that have like full sleeves. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I had a guy that I worked with who always had to wear long sleeves and long pants because his body was covered.
Yeah.
And every single tattoo.
Which is
had a
bullshit.
story.
We should be at a place these days where,
Like-
you can fucking have tattoos and do your damn job,
Yeah, I can tell you the context later.
Yeah. Well, unless there's, I guess, huge dicks or something, but you're like, well, basically.
but each one of those, were meaningful, and there were things that were implemented there. And then part of me is, I want my artwork on me. And so then I have to release...
Are you an artist?
I mean, mildly.
Okay.
So I would have to release my art...
Yeah, you're like a tattoo artist's
interpretation.
Worst nightmare.
Right. And so, I'm aware of that, and so, for...
That's all right.
For me,
when
I've
the time is
never
right...
been able to get through that process in my head, because I'm just like...
That's okay. It's not for everyone, I respect people that have none. I'm like, damn, how do you do it?
Yeah, I would love one. I'm just the guy that's antsy for one, and probably will never do it because I got issues.
Although when I first started getting tattooed, I never thought it would be to this extent. I mean, I've always liked them, but I was like, oh, I'll just get a half sleeve, then I'll just get a full sleeve. I'll never get my hands tattooed. Never think I'd get my fucking head tattooed, but now I'm like, fuck it, just everything.
So which was the worst one to get pain wise?
So far, my hands were.
The hands.
Yeah, my hands were really bad.
Wow.
I was not a fan of that. Yeah, but. And I'm the older I get, I'm definitely a bigger wuss about getting tattooed.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's because I'm happy now, so it's the pain isn't.
Interesting.
Now I'm like,
not
fuck, this hurt. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I started getting tattooed pretty heavily, right when I was getting clean and stuff. So it was therapy, you know?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, fuck, this hurts. It's oh, is it over yet?
So what do you think has helped you get to the place you are now in terms of your inside health, that you're happy now, that you feel good? What are, if you were going to say, hey, here are the top 5 things that help me personally or whatever, not that this is universal truth for everybody,
I know.
but for you, what were the top things?
That's a really good question, honestly.
Even a blind squirrel sometimes,
Yeah, that's a really good question. It definitely didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time, and it took me looking inside myself and acknowledging things that I could improve on. Being vulnerable emotionally to other people,
because most of your life you were keeping it in.
Yeah.
Because there was no one there.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't share that shit, and
That's big.
God,
that is not easy right there.
It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, and I mean, allowing yourself some grace with things, we're not going to be fucking perfect at shit. It's okay to have a bad day, but.
So is that part of your history of perfection?
I guess I am a bit of a perfectionist, just when it comes to certain things, things that I'm passionate about, I like to write a lot, and if it's not exactly what I want it, I just fuck it. I'm not posting it, or I'm not sharing it. Training too, I can get hard on myself with training because I know where I could be if I didn't have mishaps and whatever. It's usually definitely all internal for me, but I'm trying to work on that.
Yeah.
And then
there's no joke about the mental game.
So yeah, definitely having some grace with yourself, and then definitely gratitude. Every day, try and practice gratitude, whether it be the simplest thing. In the morning you wake up and you're like, hey, I have running water. I have a place to stay. I have a warm bed to sleep in. Every day, just practice being thankful. And I mean, that in return can makes you shiny to other people, and it's just it's naturally just going to make you happy. So
is that in a response to what you see in the world that gives
Fuck
you
yeah.
the most problems?
Yeah, definittle
In the great US of A.
Yes. We don't have a lot of gratitude. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of time with yourself too. And another thing I would definitely say is in relationships and stuff, give yourself that time to be by yourself. If you're with someone for a while, do not go fucking jumping into a bunch of shit. Figure out who you are, what you want.
So you shouldn't just get the rebound out of the way
real
quick? No? Okay.
Don't do that.
That's fair.
Enjoy yourself. Get to know who you are and whatever values that you have that, are bringing light to anyone else's life. Really hold strong to that and don't let anyone take that shit away from you,
Wow. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah. So are there things now that you practice that keep you centered on who you are? Because a lot of what you're
Yeah.
saying has to do with being a strong person.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, just
internally.
never giving up, like never giving up, and always, just constantly reminding yourself how lucky you are and that life is a fucking gift. Like, it's hard sometimes, and that's totally okay, but there's always going to be another day. And if there's not another day, well, guess what? It's just your fucking time. Not worrying. I mean, I just
And
don't.
you gone, so who cares?
Yeah, I just don't worry. I just try my best not to worry about shit, because you really don't have a whole lot of control when it comes to a lot of things and how it's
Sure.
going to go. Like, no matter how much you think that you might and you want to hold to all these things, like, rarely ever does shit happen the way you think it's going to go down. So just try and be in the moment and be present and be thankful. So.
Well, and I've found that the more I'm trying to control something,
the more
I'm doing it.
yeah, so true.
You know, it's
true.
the release of the control that helps me change.
It gives you freedom. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's terribly difficult.
Yeah, it is fucking. I mean, I still struggle with it. I am by no means fucking perfect, but when I start to feel that like tightness of, like you said, trying to be controlling over things or whatever, it's like, bitch, you gotta let it go. Just let it go. And all that shit that you've ever carried with you from other people, like, you gotta let that shit go too. You gotta have forgiveness.
Oh, that's tough.
And that is tough. It's way easier for me now though. Like, if you practice it often, like, man, it's good. You feel free. You feel light, and
it doesn't come overnight, but
does not come overnight.
Yeah.
Years in the making, but just don't give up on that. So
yeah, that's fantastic. That's really cool, man. So many good things, like just truth bombs laying out on the table there, blowing up all over the place. So good.
Yay!
Man, fantastic.
It's a lot of life, right?
Yeah,
Life is good though. A little crazy sometimes, but we're lucky.
So, last question.
Okay.
If you could do 3 things the rest of your life, what would they be?
Ooh.
Like, this is all you're going to do the rest of your life. 3 things.
Travel.
All right. Live as a gypsy?
Yes, I mean, I would want to have a home base, but definitely fucking travel. I was a photographer for a long time. If I could do anything, with my traveling, I would just love to shoot things and like make books.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could do that my whole life and be super happy. And then 3, God, I don't know. Just try and help people, I guess, the best that I can with whatever information I've grown to receive over the years, I guess. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, and you've been through it. I mean, and you've learned a lot. It's not so much. There's plenty of people that go through stuff, but there's not a lot of people that learn from it and decide to redirect their lives in a different way.
Yeah.
Like those people are few, much fewer than all of us that have our things.
Yeah.
That we're trying to get through, and I think that's an incredible story that you have. And
Thanks.
I appreciate you sharing it.
Man, I appreciate you even wanting to talk. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, glad we get you before you're out of the country.
Yeah.
Because, person-to-person podcasts are a lot more difficult in other countries. So.
No, one-on-one is great. I don't mind.
Well, all right. Well, I appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, that's another episode. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, leave us a few comments, hit the like button, do all the social media things, share it with your friends. We would love to get the word out, and we need your help to do that about the podcast. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time. In the meantime, connect with us over at barbell-voodoo.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, see us on Facebook, see us everywhere. We worldwide. See you next time.